This will be a short tutorial on accessing the AIC website on the internet. I'll be using Microsoft's Internet Explorer to do this, but you can use another browser like Google's Chrome to do this as well. So I'll click on the Internet Explorer icon, and I have this set up to go directly to Google. So I'm going to type in the AIC address, and at the top of the list you'll see Associates of the Iowa Cistercians displayed. This is a link, and as I move my mouse pointer over this name, you'll see it changes from a pointer to a hand, and I'll click with my left mouse button on this, and we're brought immediately to the member login page. I'll type in my name and my password. Once I've done that, I can click on the login at the bottom here. If you forget your password or have problems accessing the AIC website, you can send the webmaster, namely me, a email, and I can send you your current password that you're using, and once you log in, you can go ahead and change that to whatever you want. So I'll left click on login, and here's the announcements. This is the first page that's displayed. At the top here we have a set of menu options that you can select. AIC calendar, documents, discussion topics, photo albums, AIC lore, prayer requests, community meetings, and so on. As you notice, when I move my pointer over the names here, it changes to a hand with a finger pointing to that particular menu option. And again, I'll go through each one of those in just a few minutes. Beneath the set of menu options, we have a section here where the names of AIC members who are to be included in our prayers for the day are displayed. We can click on, left mouse button, the prayer sheet, and then this just lists the names of AIC members, and their name will be displayed on a specific day of the month. Mine, for example, would be on the 26th of the month. Elizabeth's would be on the 25th of the month. And those names, for the name for each day or names for each day, will be displayed in this particular panel. Going on down, scrolling on down, the meeting notes for our community meeting are displayed, and you can scroll through there. Again, if you have questions about what information is contained here, you can send council member a question about that, and I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. Directly below the section on people who will be included in our prayers is a display of the current month's discussion topic. For August, Father Brendan presented a topic on formation. There are two ways you can access discussion topics and presentations. For the current month, all you need to do is move your mouse pointer over the name of the presentation and left click on that, and you're brought to a section that will enable you to look at the details of that presentation. There are tabs at the top here. First tab relates to introductory material, and in this particular section all of the Lectio readings are included for that particular presentation. Moving on over to content, this particular section contains the audio recordings. Usually 1 to 4 of these are included in this particular section. And you can simply, again, move your pointer to one of these audio recording sections and then left click on that, and basically then you'll automatically begin listening to that particular section. I'll go ahead and stop that and then close this window, and you could select any of these to listen to. Moving on over then further to supplementary files. In this particular section, if the text of the talk is available, that will be listed here along with any other documents that were passed out during the presentation. In this particular example, again, I'm going to left click on the name formation, and this simply displays that text for you that you can scroll through and read in detail. Finally, we have discussion threads. In this particular presentation, there were no questions that were added, included in the presentation or the discussion in the afternoon. If there had been discussion questions, they would be listed here. And I'll show you an example of a particular presentation where there are discussion questions. Going back up to the top here, let me select the menu item called AIC Calendar. And scrolling down, we have the date, time, and topic for the current or upcoming presentations. See that on Saturday, October the 12th, Linda Harrington will be presenting a topic on Lectio and Scripture. Also, there's in parenthesis here indicating whether it's a joint presentation. That's a joint with both ongoing and initial formation groups. If it's a core presentation for the initial formation, that'll be indicated here as well. Moving on over to the section on documents, I'll left click on that, and here we have a set of files related to basically documents of interest to our group. For example, we have the constitutions of the associates, and then membership guidelines. And again, as I move my pointer over one of these listings, I can left click on that and it will bring up a display. Sometimes it takes a little while to display it, or you may have to scroll down to see all of the contents. But in any event, you can take a look at those items in more detail. And there are other documents down here that as well. Moving on to the presentations that have been made in the past, we have discussion topics. If I left click on that, we have the list, and you can basically look at all of the review all of the presentations that have been made. Again, we have the title, the presenter or presenters, and the date presented. Here's the item that the presentation made by Father Brendan. You can, in this particular display, also go directly to the details of his presentation by, again, just simply left-clicking on the name formation. And we're brought back to this details page with the tabs at the top here that you can select for the specific items. Let me return to discussion topics for the moment. And let me move down to one here This is one by Father Stephen Verbest, Lessons in Prayer, made on June the 8th. And I'll go ahead and left click on this item. Same layout as I showed for the current or the August presentation by Father Brendan. We have introductory material, excuse me, suggested Lectio readings, content, which basically is a listing of the audio recordings, and they're broken up into 4 segments that you can stream to your computer. Supplementary files. Here's the text of his talk. If there had been a handout during his presentation, that item would be listed here as well. In this particular case, there were questions that were included and discussed during the afternoon. And here is a list of those questions that were sent out. In each case, you can add a comment regarding that particular question. Simply left click on this, and your name is automatically added to that comment, and then you can go ahead and put in the text. Just type in something here to include regarding that particular question. I'll go ahead and again move down here and left click on cancel and return. So now let's move on to some of the other items here that are available, menu items. The next item here that we'll click on is photo albums. This contains a list of photos, photo sets or photo albums of different events. We have a set of photos for the AIC commitment ceremony this year, and also a set of photos for the retreat that was held with Father David Bach. If you click on one of these items, you'll basically be allowed to look at a slideshow. You'll basically run through all of the photos in that particular album. At any time you want, you can go ahead and just pause. I just clicked on the 2 parallel lines there, and then we'll go over here to the and just close that. The section on AIC lore contains more details. It's basically the description here at the top. We've adopted various customs and ways of doing things during the years of the AIC. And so here are some of those types, here are some of those files. There's one called What is the AIC Practice for Sending Plants to Funerals? I'll left click on that. And here's the item displayed in detail. Also, we have other documents here in this particular section on AIC lore. As far as prayer requests, this particular section goes, you can add a prayer request at any time. You can see here that Peggy Russell posted a request on Wednesday, September the 4th, mentioning or asking for prayers for her brother Rick. And here's one posted by Dennis Day in June. Again, if you want to add a prayer request, you simply left click on this item right here, and you can go ahead, put in your request, and then click on here, and your prayer request will be listed on the page. The next menu item that I'm going to cover is community meetings. And at the top here we see a paragraph describing that. And looks like this needs to be updated a little bit. Your webmaster is going to have to work on that. But let's go to community meeting in June, and I'll left click on that. And here are the notes that were recorded during that particular meeting. I'll close those. And you can see we have community meeting notes for most of our meetings previous years. The formation team section here, first thing that's shown are the names of the people who are on the formation team. If you want to send one of these people or send an email to one of these, you can simply click on their name, left click. I'm using Microsoft Outlook as my email, and here it's all set to Mary Merkel Hess, and of course you can include a message there and then go ahead and send it. I'll close that out. Below that there are links to documents that identify responsibilities of the formation team and provide samples of documents that can be used, that are used. For example, we have the initial formation core curriculum described. If I left click on that, and here is a list of those items. Close that off. Again, you can simply move your mouse pointer to any of these and left click on them to open them up. Membership list. Left click on that. Here we have a photo of each of the AIC members, indication whether they're part of ongoing formation or initial formation, when they became a member, and when they made their commitment, ongoing commitment, and the date for that. Beneath there is an address, a telephone number, and some icons here. An email icon and some further information. I'm going to scroll down to my photo. And the icon here is, as I mentioned, if you left click on that, it'll open up your and enable you to send an email message directly to that person. The other icon here provides some further information. One of the main items that's included in this is the commitment statement made by the person if they're in ongoing formation. And this is the commitment statement that I put together when I went and made my went through the ongoing ceremony, commitment ceremony. Resources, left click on that, and here are some documents and links to some items of general interest. We have links to lay Cistercian resources, International Association, Praying the Liturgy, and other links as well to Cistercian monasteries for both the monks and the nuns. On the right-hand side here, we have some online resources. For example, if I left-click on today's Mass readings, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops page is displayed with the readings for, in this case, September the 11th, Mass readings for the day. And you can scroll down and certainly read through the Mass parts. When you're done with this particular section, you can go up to the upper right-hand corner where this X is located. And if you click on that, it's going to ask you want to close all tabs or the current tab. And what you want to do is you want to just click on Close Current Tab. And that will bring you back to this resources reading list. The AIC Council section is shown here, and we have the list of the current AIC Council members. If you want to send an email to a specific member, simply again click on their name, and again, in my case, I'm using Microsoft Outlook for that. And I can go ahead and send an email. However, I really don't need to send an email to myself, so I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Also, you can click here, left click, to send an email to the entire council. Now down below we have the council meeting minutes. Here's the minutes from the meeting on August the 9th. If I left click on that, here are the detailed minutes of the meeting. And if you have questions about the contents of those minutes, again, you can either send an email to all of the council or to specific people on the council. The next section over is Benedict's Rule. And there are a set of links here at the bottom, an index of texts, a bibliographic index, and so on here. If I again left click on one of these items, I immediately brought to more details about, in this case, the Rule of Benedict. Again, to exit this section out, I'm going to go and click on the red X, and it says Close Current Tab, and that brings me back to this particular page. You can edit your record. I'll click on that. In this case, there's the name, password, address, your email address, telephone number, some other items down here too. If you have a Skype address, for example. One item that I didn't mention is that in the membership list, the people who are currently on sabbatical are not listed in this at the present time. That may be discussed at a later council meeting. And finally, we have jobs and volunteers put together to help people identify what duties, what AIC duties are important. And here is a list of those. We also have a link to the Abilities and Talents inventory that was revised in November of 2012. I'll left click on that. And here's a list of names for different activities: room presentation, lunch table setup and takedown, lunchtime readers, discussion group facilitators, and people involved in providing musical accompaniment for our meetings. When you're ready to exit, you can simply go to the logout option here, click on that, and you're brought to this page right here. That concludes the tutorial. If you have questions, You can send me an email or give me a call.